Last week in Pennsylvania, the battle was on. Charlie Mullins is going to win his second race in a row, and with it, extend the series points lead. Can he try to run it around the outside? And can he in the banners goes down? They'll be fighting to the finish again today. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Racer TV's continuing coverage of the Can-Am Grand National Cross Country Series for 2011. Jason Wygant, of course, your host, and this is the ITP Tires Powerline Park GNCC in Ohio. As always, a 3-hour race for our bike riders today. We'll cover 11-mile laps, hoping to get 6 of those in within the 3 hours of allotted time. You saw the mud holes. Here you see the uphills and the downhills. It's going to be a tough one on the boys today. KTM Team Surgeon got Corey Buttrick back in action, Caleb Russell, a couple of good races, and this man, Charlie Mullins, leading the standings, which means last year's champ Josh Strang there has to get on a roll today. We'll see who else could be a factor by the time today's 3-hour event is over. Mechanics going to clear the starting line, shut the engines off now, and we're ready to go GNCC racing.
Second, and the ITP Powerline Park GNCC will be underway.
And they come roaring out of the hole. Look at the 112 of Mullins on the FMF KTM. Clear hole shot there. Beautiful jump. Paul Whibley on the Yamaha on the outside going to challenge him. But Whibley blows the corner there, the right-hander, turn number 2. And that's going to allow Mullins to control it. And his teammate Caleb Russell right there on the 350 KTM. So it's the 350 chasing the 450. And Russell looks like he wants to go to the front. Maybe try to make a move. Whibley in third, and a good start for Josh Strang in fourth. It's been a while since we've seen Strang up front with these guys from the get-go. He's had some bad luck as of late. Mullins holds a 17-point lead on Strang in the standings. Whibley on the number 3 is third, and now Strang has lost ground. Mike Lafferty on the Husaberg has taken over his 4th place spot. And where is your defending GNCC champion? See Scotty Watkins here in the Geico Honda, battling for a spot in the top 10. Strang nowhere to be seen. Let's go back to the XC2 class for the 250cc bikes. Hole shot here. That's going to be Stuart Baylor beating them across the stripe. So Baylor, the $100 Motorsport Hole Shot Award. And they're also saying that Whibley and that bonsai effort where he blew the second corner in that XC1 class, he has been given the $250 Motorsport.com Hole Shot Award in the big class as Baylor battles it out. Baylor needs this win off the podium in the last 3 races. Jordan Ashburn has won 3 in a row. We go back to the XC1 class, and it continues to be Mullins leading Russell. And this track is notorious for some of these muddy sections, and some of them the fans will be down there helping the riders, pointing out the right lines, or even pulling stuck bikes out of the mud if they have to. There's your top 5, Corey Buttrick in the number 5 spot. What we hear about Strang is that he crashed trying to jump off an embankment early in this race, and that's why he's so far back. He's okay, but he's a lot of ground to make up on Mullins, Russell, Whibley, Lafferty, and Buttrick. And a big uphill on the very right side of the screen. You saw the man in the Yamaha shirt. That's Randy Hawkins, a multi-time Enduro champ, team manager for Ampro Yamaha, trying to help Whibley go after the 2 KTMs out front. Now the infamous Gus's Mud Hole, named after one of the founding members of our GNCC TV crew, and they have been putting tracks down in this mud bog for over a decade in this GNCC series, and these 5 riders getting away. Now look at the style motocross-like as Mullins back into the dry stuff with Russell all over him. And Caleb Russell, he has shown the ability to run up front early in these races, but these are 3-hour events, and he has not put the final hour together. We'll see if he can stick with Mullins all the way to the end. Then it's Whibley. Looks like Buttrick has made a pass on Lafferty. Lafferty, the veteran out of New Jersey, always strong early in the races. Here is Thad Duvall. That's Whibley's teammate of the Yamaha, young guy, has not had things come together for him yet in the big class. Then we see Nate Canny, privateer out of New York, go by, and finally we pick up Josh Strang on the radar. Strang, a lot of ground to make up. Minutes to number 9, the Beta of Jesse Robinson, and the 44, the Geico Honda of Jimmy Jarrett. 1 lap in the books. The KTM boys trying to make it a 2-horse. Every week we mention this here on our coverage of the Can-Am Grand National Cross Country Series. With nearly 1,200 riders on hand today, this ITP Powerline Park GNCC is about a lot more than just pro motorcycle riders. We have classes for ATVs, for amateurs, whether they be beginners or up-and-coming pros, classes for the ladies, and classes for the old guys. So really something for everyone. If you see this kind of terrain and think it would be fun to race on, come join us. Go to GNCCRacing.com for more info. Up front, Charlie Mullins and Caleb Russell pulling away just a bit from Paul Whibley. But I don't think Whibley is panicking right now. He has not had to burn much energy. He's just cruising along. He has Corey Buttrick and now Josh Strang behind him, and Thad Duvall has hooked on with Strang. But Strang, with the bad start, he has really had to burn a lot of energy to move back up from outside of the top 10 to get into 5th. Russell has taken over the lead with Mullins right on his back tire, but the big difference is these three, including Whibley in 3rd, they're running their own pace, running their own race. Strang has had to take big chances and use a lot of energy to get back up to the rear tire of Buttrick. But it has worked out well here for Thad Duvall, who is hooked on to the rear tire of Strang. Whoa! Duvall, a little bit of a swap there. That has been his trouble as Russell holds off Mullins, and Mullins almost throws it away in 2nd. What I was saying about Duvall back there, he might be the most heralded GNCC amateur and youth rider ever, and won the XC2 championship for 250s back in 08. But ever since he's moved up to the big class, he has had crashes, mistakes, inconsistency, mechanical troubles, injuries. Anything you don't want to have happen has happened to this rider right here. Playing it smart today by hooking on to Strang. Maybe those two could push each other toward the front. As we focus in on Russell, who's had led a lot of laps as of late in this series, just hasn't been able to close it. Both he and Mullins, born and raised in Ohio, now make their racing homes in North Carolina for better weather and year-round riding. Whibley, out of New Zealand, he spent his time in North Carolina as well, but sets up his operation in South Carolina, where Randy Hawkins bases that Ampro Yamaha team. So the Southeast, due to the weather, has been the choice for a lot of these riders. Battle tightening up between Buttrick, Strang, and Duvall. Duvall out of West Virginia also will spend some time down in South Carolina with Whibley and the rest of the factory Yamaha team. And we mentioned Duvall's struggles transitioning into this main pro class. Caleb Russell trying to avoid the same fate. He wants to get a win in his rookie season. Started the year out rough, 2 finishes outside the top 10. But he has definitely improved since then. Here's Russell on his way to his 2nd straight GNCC XC2 championship on the 250. Won that title in 2009 and 2010. And now wants to deliver a victory on the 350 in the pro class. Came close a couple of weeks ago in Ohio. Here he is on the last lap of the race, but Whibley's going to execute a pass with 2 turns to go and steal the victory. It was a heartbreaking win for Russell to lose in what is his home track race. He was frustrated, hopes for better today.
Yeah, I've been on the podium pretty consistently and putting in some consistent rides. Just haven't got up there to get that win, you know. Hopefully I can just stay consistent all day and be there in the end and get my first win. For sure, just to be strong in the last lap is the biggest thing. Charlie, Josh, and Wibbs are all really strong the last couple laps and they always turn it up. So just be there all day, and then hopefully either if you can't break away, just be there with them and try to make a pass at the end.
And so far, so good for Russell, nearing the halfway point of this one, leading. But like we said, he's been in this situation a couple times this year. There's 2 main factors in these races for getting past the 3-hour mark. Obviously, fitness. These guys are some of the fittest athletes on the planet, but it's all about strategy at this point. They're all strong. They're all in shape. Guys like Mullins, they've won these races before. They know how to manage their energy. They know how to save something for the end. And Whibley might be the best at it of all. And that little gap that the KTM riders have built up on him, he won't panic. He'll save something for the end. These races are marathons and not sprints. Now, in contrast, these guys are really pushing each other. Buttrick, Strang, and Duval, great racing. And look at all the fans down here trying to point out the good lines through the mud. But Strang gonna take a chance on the left side, and that might have paid off. He might have made a pass. I'll tell you what, he misses the positioning in that front wheel when he goes over the mud, and he's going for a ride. Russell stopping by the finish line checkpoint and pulling away just a bit from his teammate Mullins. Is today the day, or the veteran's gonna run the kid back down? 21-year-old Caleb Russell leading the way here, bouncing over these bumps like he's attacking a motocross track, and he's got Charlie Mullins right behind him as the Can-Am Grand National Cross Country Series rolls on here in Ohio. Battle is going to be on for third, though. Look at this. Josh Strang has caught and now passed Paul Whibley, and he's letting that pace that he set in a come-from-behind charge carry him forward, and he's bringing Thad Duval and Corey Buttrick with him. So 4 riders duking it out for the number 3 spot. Mullins trying to keep Russell honest. Mullins, your series points leader. That's why he has the white number plate backgrounds with everyone else in red. And that tells you that whatever Mullins has done this year, he has done right. Strang now leading Duval. Whibley losing a bunch of ground. He's got Buttrick right behind him. And can these 4 push each other toward the leaders? And Mullins now has Russell in his sights again. We go back to our race in upstate New York at Unadilla, and it was these two battling like this for a while, but down the stretch, Mullins able to get away. Time for a pit stop. Full tank of gas and fresh goggles for both of the KTM riders. And Russell going to enter with the lead and leave with the lead. Mullins still right there, only about 8 seconds back, so we're back into the woods. And Russell trying to up the pace and open up a gap on his teammate, and he has done just that. Let's check in on that battle for third. Not much of a battle. Strang, well, he came, he saw, and he has left those riders behind. It looks like Duval might be the only one able to stick with him. Still have Whibley there in pursuit. Onto the road, and Gus's mud hole. We've noticed the different lines. Russell continuing to use the right side of the track. Whoa, and just able to make it through this section. Has to go all the way up where the spectators are. And he knows the game. The old rule is the spectators, they're not going to stand in the mud. They'll stand on the hard ground. So Russell tried to go where they were. A little bit of indecisiveness there. Mullins wants to go to the right side also, and almost goes over the bars, and then almost goes into where the spectators are hanging out. But you got to get desperate sometimes to find the dry ground. Now it looks like Whibley has taken third place back. He has taken that wide line on the left. Strang continues to use that line as well and almost gets the FMF Makita Suzuki bogged down. And then it's Duval right with him, so the white flag is out. Russell is looking for his first career win, and he's got 4 riders breathing down his neck in second. Second generation GNCC star here, Caleb Russell's dad, Jeff Russell, 20 years ago, won a GNCC and also was your AMA National Enduro Series champion 20 years ago. Now his son Caleb, 21 years of age, is leading on the last lap here in his home state of Ohio, looking for his first career victory in the XC1 Pro class. As for Charlie Mullins here in second, he is your series points leader. He would like to win, and he'll take a second place finish if that means that his championship rivals, these two, Whibley and Strang, stay behind him. And look at the battle. Desperate for points, desperate for track position. The New Zealander and the Australian going at it with Thad Duval not too far off their pace. Into Gus's mud hole for the last time. Russell trying to hang on. And the kind of work that he has had to put in to have the fitness to go 3 hours is one thing, but then he had to learn the hard way. He had to take a couple of losses at the hands of Whibley and Mullins in some close races to figure out what to do down the stretch. Look at this, a resurgent Duval has got around Strang and Whibley, and they are battling with each other through the mud hole. And Whibley makes a mistake Strang's going to take the spot. We go back to our leader, Russell, who is still hustling on this last lap. That is a very tricky uphill. Needs to keep the momentum to get to the top clean. Here's Mullins in the number 2 spot, and Mullins has gotten it stuck. And we know that battle for third is raging. He can ill afford to lose some time. Gets a push from a spectator and gets the bike back going. That could have been disastrous. Mullins has been, oh, here they are. There you can see the gap. There's Duval, and you can hear the Suzuki of Strang right behind him, and there he is. And Whibley's going to try to pass Strang back. He's to the left side, and he makes the move. It always picks up here in the last lap. I don't know if anyone's going to have time to get Russell, who has made it through the mud again. But who's going to take second, third, fourth? And what kind of impact will that have on the championship? There is Mullins, clearing the mud hole. Oh, they got to be nervous down there, the KTM people. No, he's got to hold off these riders to maintain the series points lead. Great job by Duval to get through as well. There is Whibley, and he's off the bike. He's gotten stuck, and Strang is stuck behind him. Your 2 championship contenders watching Mullins get away as they try to dig their way back out. A little assistance from the mud fleas, the spectators down there, and Strang still can't get going. All the work he put in to make up for a crash early has been washed away in the mud hole as Caleb Russell sets sail to his first ever Can-Am Grand National Cross Country victory. And he has made it look easy. Lessons learned. A tough loss in Ohio, a tough one in New York. He comes back to Ohio and today delivers his first career overall victory. And with it a boatload of confidence, he knows well, couple of rounds left in this series, it could be the first of many. Caleb Russell into the record books as a Grand National Cross Country race winner. And Mullins, after a hectic last lap, is going to survive. It's going to feel like a win for him because the riders he's battling for the championship lead with are going to finish behind him again. Off the track, Mullins a pretty mild-mannered guy. A lot of people question his mental toughness down the stretch. He has faltered in years past, but not this time. Wait a minute, battle's still raging. Whibley on the outside, it gets plowed by Duval. Whibley is down and down hard. Duval is going to take third, and Whibley, well, he's lucky to get up. It looks like he's going to maintain fourth. I don't see Strang in the picture. Here is your battle. Suzuki slow motion replay, Duval and Whibley going for the same line. It's a game of chicken. Whibley, watch the tree branch. Breaks the tree in half and still gets up to finish fourth. These guys are tough. Let's send it down to Krista Shaw.
All right, Thad Duval grabbing the number 3 spot up on the podium. Thad, it's been a while since we've seen you up here. What clicked today?
I don't know, just the track was awesome, and you know, everybody out there, I had a bunch of my family here, so they're big motivation, and just rode a smooth, smart race, and made him a little mistake in the first lap and dropped a little bit behind, but me and Josh got together all day long and made it was a fun battle with him, and it paid off at the end.
And there are the results. Strang, hard-earned 5th place. Jimmy Jarrett, Geico Honda 6. Lafferty, Canny, Robinson, and Watkins round out the top 10.
All right, another Ohio boy grabbing the number 2 spot on the podium here today. Charlie, you're our points leader. You're in contention for the championship. Are you feeling any pressure at this point in the season?
No pressure. It's you know, just going out there and racing. We have 3 races left, and I like the next tracks we're going to. So you know, hopefully I can keep the ball going. And it was a good day today. It was really slippery out there and quite a bit of mud holes. So you know, had to play it smart. And Caleb rode an awesome race. Really didn't have much for him today, and tried to ride a smart race and was able to bring it in for second.
And there are the standings. Look at that. Mullins, by virtue of a 2nd place finish, Strang's 5th, drops him further back. Let's talk to our new winner, Caleb Russell.
Caleb Russell has found his groove in the XC1 class. Caleb, you're an Ohio boy. You took the win here today. Tell us how it went.
Yeah, it was a good day. I got a pretty good start, and Charlie was ahead of me, and we kind of rode together the first couple laps, and he ended up stalling his bike, and I got around him, and then he kind of followed me for a little bit, and then I broke away, and I just rode my own race, and I felt really good today all the way through the race, and it was a good day.
Yeah, you bet it was a good day for him. Check out the Can-Am race recap. Usual suspects were up front early until Josh Strang crashed. Mullins led Russell through the first couple of laps. Then Russell, as he said, was able to take advantage of a mistake by Mullins to take the lead, but he has led races before. The veteran riders have been able to track him down late. Strang and Whibley came barreling through traffic. They were battling hard for points. Thad Duvall actually managed to slip by them when they made a couple of mistakes. And then Russell, this time, strong all the way to the end. Mullins could not put a challenge to him down the stretch. Russell delivers the first ever victory for the KTM 350, while behind him, a great battle for the podium raged in the last turn when Paul Whibley hit a tree. Lucky to get up relatively unhurt. Feeling good, meanwhile, your podium finishers. Congrats to them. For Krista Shaw, I'm Jason Wygant. See you next week.